Welcome to episode 51 of the Groupchat Wrestling Podcast. I am your American hero, that ball bro, and we're going to start things off a little bit differently today, rather than the normal introductions to my fellow co-host. Unfortunately, real life events are going on right now, literally as we speak, and that is regarding the WWE Night of Champions event that is set to take place this upcoming Saturday in Saudi Arabia. But like I said, as we are talking right now, unfortunately, with the actions of my glorious president, the 47th, taking military actions without the approval of Congress, striking Iran multiple locations without the approval of Congress. Tensions are very high in the Middle East to the point that right now, as literally an hour before we started recording, there are jets that are flying over Saudi Arabia airspace right now. And there have been imminent threats made by Iran's Twitter page, literally making imminent threats against any American citizens or properties or anything American in the immediate areas. So, like I said, this is real life going on right now. I might just make a sudden stop and announce any breaking news throughout this episode, but, let's just jump right into it. Real quick, guys, should WWE just cancel, relocate, suspend Night of Champions with the possible imminent threat?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No?
No.
Hmm.
We've already got a disagreement.
It gives CM Punk an easy out. No.
Yes, postpone. Don't cancel it, but postpone
Just
until
postpone
their
it,
lives are not actually actively being
The
threatened.
thing is
Even
that
CM
there are about 8,000 US citizens based in this military base in the Middle East. Is Al Udeid, is that right? Am I saying that
Sounds
right?
about right, yeah.
Yeah, there's about 8,000 US citizens there. Are they really gonna, like... it's such a strange thing, isn't it? But go on.
Dan, I'll give you 50 million reasons why they might go on with the show. As in, the $50 million is an appearance fee that WWE collects.
Is that all? I'm surprised it's that low, to be honest. I thought they were getting a lot more.
I mean,
but...
I think that's the general estimates of what I'm hearing online. But yeah, let's just say the minimum of $50 million that they get for an appearance fee for their Saudi Arabia show, Night of Champions. But it's like, you know what? Common sense would say, you know what? Why even take the chance? I'd rather be safe rather than sorry. Like, I mean, surely your talent's livelihood and safety cannot be, means more than.
I mean, looking at their history,
right?
they've never really taken that seriously, have they? Their talent well-being or like the well-being of the people who work for the company. They've never really cared.
It's funny you say that, Dan, while we're talking about military bases abroad.
It's very true.
Yeah, man. It's like I said, it's real, it's ongoing. But you know what? I'll say this: if any of those talent, I'm hearing rumblings there's a lot of talent that's uncomfortable, rightfully so, about making the trip. A certain voice of the voiceless. If you have any shred, if there's any ounce of that former self of yours still inside of you, can you speak up? Can you say something? Can you go to Triple H's door? Like, what are we doing here? We're not going, right? I'm just saying, I would hope that there's a little bit of shred of that punk rock voice of the voiceless, anti-establishment guy within them, but I don't know. Time will tell.
Yeah, if they ever needed the old CM Punk, they need him now.
I think.
Well, the one who got a staph infection. I don't know how that would help this situation here, Lucy.
Not that one.
Oh, okay.
Firstly, we can't mention WWE and US military bases abroad because we have to talk about a subject that they don't like. Secondly, the old CM Punk. Yeah, if he went to Triple H now, knowing the history of WWE, what Triple H would say to him is, "Hey Punk, you haven't got the number of Sergeant Slaughter, have you? We could do a good gimmick out of this." Sergeant Slaughter will be back as a Iran sympathiser. He'd be headlining the fucking show. They ain't gonna fucking change a thing. They just roll with this. This is great for them.
Andy, you're so wrong. They don't need. Remember Yokozuna? They don't need Sergeant Slaughter. They just need somebody in the uniform with the name.
That's true.
They didn't send the
and
real
if the
Yokozuna.
Saudi Crown Prince, he probably doesn't want Sergeant Slaughter. He probably wants the Iron Sheik.
Yeah, who is dead, but that didn't stop them with Yokozuna.
Well, they could send Sergeant Slaughter anyway. He can be both.
Double duty.
Well,
Yeah,
the Hulk Hogan
It ain't going to change a thing. They ain't going to stop it.
No.
I think
if they don't want to, clearly, if they wanted to, they would have stopped it by now.
I'm not saying they should stop it altogether. At least just postpone it for a little while.
Will. There's too much money on the table.
No, Dan's absolutely right. Like, I think if they would have made the decision already not to go if that was the case. But the fact that, like, say here on Eastern Standard Time, it's 2:40 p.m. You got a little more than 5 hours to the start of Monday Night Raw. The fact that we haven't gotten that announcement yet that they're like either postponing, relocating, whatever. I think they're going full. I think they're going on with it.
I want you to be wrong, but I don't think you are.
I hope I'm wrong, but history. What's the old saying? Those who don't learn history are doomed to repeat it.
Like they should stop it, but we know they're not going to.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the bottom line.
Morally, it's the right thing to do, but at the same time, this is a company that isn't guided by morals.
My friend Hang Dan, Adam Page, morality does not pay the bills. Morality does not fill the bank vaults like the Scrooge McDuck, the old DuckTales cartoons,
Even looking at it from a business perspective, surely they have to accept that there's a business argument for postponing. If something happens, it's a PR disaster.
You would think
No,
so.
you're right. No, I'm reaching.
They probably think it's a PR fucking miracle
It's a
for
gold
them.
mine.
They get
Turn it
so much
into an
PR
angle.
off that. Yeah, everyone the sympathy with the Fed during everything that's going on.
I'm going to sound like such a dick rider here, and I don't care, but Tony Khan would never.
No, he wouldn't.
No, AEW would never.
He wouldn't like.
Well,
didn't Tony Khan swear not to run another show in that state that wouldn't let Nyla Rose wrestle?
Yeah.
Yes.
He basically said.
He's a good lad.
Yeah.
He said we're not going.
It was
back there,
Iowa. I think it was Iowa, wasn't it?
Can't remember, but it was ridiculous.
Mississippi.
Mississippi. Sorry, my mistake.
So I real quick before we move on to the next topic, GCW. I don't know if it was yesterday.
Disgusting.
Mayu was.
I know.
She was on all the posters, and they took her off the card because she
didn't have a social security number or something, didn't
the problem is that
ridiculous.
They've run multiple people before without the correct paperwork. So what the hell is the problem now?
That's horrible. That's horrible. That is.
Yeah, I've seen that this morning. It's disgusting.
I haven't seen this. I've been out all day, so I won't comment on that.
Yeah, even Lauderdale tweeted about it, put it out there. Yeah, she was off the card completely because she didn't have, I guess they deemed her without the proper identification or paperwork. Fucking.
But he said they've never had this problem with anyone before.
Yeah,
it's so ridiculous.
Why now?
Some fucking jobs where somewhere's been like, I'm gonna be a cunt today.
Basically, yeah. Someone's like ratted them out. Basically, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's just horrible. Like, and especially because it was Miyu Yamashita, wasn't it, who was affected?
Yes.
Like she's a freelancer essentially. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like she's a freelancer, so she relies on indie dates just to get booking. She's not like signed to any one place. But yeah, I mean, like that's. She'd been booked for some time. How do you not have how do you not have the paperwork? And B, why would if something's missing that doesn't affect their ability to actually get work? Then why would you do that? It just feels like such a jobs worthy thing to do.
Yeah,
keep an eye on
Shite.
Shite. Well, you know what wasn't shite.
What wasn't shite?
This past weekend. This episode of Collision. Good transition right there. Ooh, man, listen.
Now we're getting to the good stuff.
You know what? Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I was a little worried about with the cards set up, in a sense that it was Friday. We were getting the matches early to late Friday. They were added up, but you know what? I think we're at the point now where we have to learn a lesson that it's always the underwhelming builds or underwhelming cards for Collision that just turned out to be so fucking amazing. And we won't run down the whole show, but just a couple of the key points. We have the Swerve Strickland and Shane Taylor matchup. Before we even start, shout out to the Infantry getting TV time on Collision. We need more of the Infantry, all of them. Shane Taylor, Sean Dean, Carly Bravo, Trish Adora. They're amazing. They have amazing presence. They are good. They're awesome. I mean, Shane Taylor is one of the most underrated talents, great talker. I mean, he is real. He is believable. The Infantry, Carly Bravo, Sean Dean, they're a great tag team, in my opinion. They have tremendous upside. And Trish Adora, doing good work in ROH. She'll be a good future addition to the AEW women's roster.
I seen a great
line.
I seen a great tweet today. Someone was complaining and it was a valid complaint for once on Twitter, where They're saying, why do they keep introducing them as the infantry and Trish Adora?
She
Trish
is
Adora's in the
infantry.
infantry.
She should be
Exactly.
in-
So
yeah,
it's just
she
the
should be.
infantry. It's not the infantry and Trish Adora. Fucking hell.
She is the
It doesn't
infantry.
make
Like,
sense.
It's not like
I
fucking
love-
Queen and Adam Lambert.
I fucking love Trish Adora. She,
At least I'd prefer that than Queen and Dan Lambert. But go on, Lucy.
I wouldn't mind that, to be
What was
honest.
that?
You just gave a whole bunch of fans like PTSD, like with
yeah,
mentioning
we
Dan
don't talk
Lambert.
about that.
We don't talk about Dan Lambert.
Okay,
Sorry, go on.
Then you got
I was late
Yeah,
to the
go-
party on
Should have
Trish
been
Adora.
back for the anniversary show.
Yeah, I only really got to know her last year. She had a match with Julia that somebody sent me and was like, "Watch her in this," and I was like, "Oh shit, damn!" She's not the biggest person, but my god, she looks like she hits so bloody hard.
I mean, she's
There's times watching
ex-military.
you, like,
She probably knows how to throw a good working punch.
Well, yeah, there you go. She looks genuinely tough. I like
She's
the infantry,
terrifying,
but Trish is my number one of them.
We did someone a disservice by not mentioning him, who's a member of that Shane Taylor promotion stable, and that's Lee Moriarty. I think he's quality. I think he's such a good, gifted wrestler that again, like it goes back to that whole thing of like I don't always want like Ring of Honor to just be on like AEW like all the time, because it feels like they should have separate identities, like show-wise, because for a while we had that thing where, you know, on Collision mainly and like Rampage, we'd have like Ring of Honor stars like coming over onto the shows, and they were just like having just matches without any kind of real like substance. But if this one was kind of like a bit like that at first glance, but it was wicked, especially like the bit that they were doing like outside the ring.
With
I thought that was
Nana.
a genius touch.
this might have been, I don't know, it's a top 5 like I said. So I
It's
can't
when
even.
Shivani was
The
going
match
on.
was not even like the in-ring action. In my opinion, it took a backseat to what was going outside. So like there was a moment where Shane Taylor goes to the outside and Carly Brown was going like, come on, man, I got money on this match. Like that's all he said. But then they go to the corner of the ring, and it's him and Shawn Dean pull out hundreds of dollars of bills. But I love that in the background, in the foreground, you see Nana just peeking, like, what's going on over there? And he's just slowly creeping around, and he's like, yo, let me get in this action. He pulls out his money too. I don't know who it was, pulled out the bottle of Hennessy, and I'm like, oh my God. I salute to whoever's idea that was, but because
clever,
anything is possible.
It's
Very
absolutely
much.
incredible.
No, it's the best bit was when Tony Schiavone went up.
Yes.
That was just
Tony
the best.
Schiavone coming
Yeah.
out is like, I went on this action. He put I love it. He
He just
slammed
put his headset
money.
down and just went up
Yeah.
and like put some money and then went back
We
to the
all saw
commentary
Tony
desk.
Schiavone's gambling addiction at work. But Prince
Is this
Nana
gonna be a
has
bit-
my
a bit
entire
now?
heart. Does anyone remember during the pandemic they would have people playing games and things in the crowd, usually the Ass Boys, or they would
Oh,
be doing
yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
in the audience when the wrestlers were all in the crowd? They would have some sort of game or bets going on. It had that
Yes.
sort of vibe. And as terrible as it was, pandemic AEW has had its own charm. Even though the time was awful, AEW was amazing.
Pandemic AEW was ace.
Oh, AEW
Some
was,
great
but the
matches there.
time itself was
Oh,
rubbish.
the time was shite,
Yeah.
but AEW
Oh
was
no,
one of the...
AEW during the pandemic was amazing.
That was
Oh, it was
one
a
of the...
lifesaver.
Yeah, it got me through the pandemic, though.
Peter
Yeah,
Avalon in
watching
his little
Dark
heart-shaped
and Dark
bed.
Elevation like in the background while working, it was bliss.
Don't. I
miss-
need Dark back.
Yeah, I miss
need
Dark
that back.
Elevation. I don't like having to tune into NXT to watch it now.
I need Dark.
Sorry, guys. Shit, that's something Andy would say. I'm sorry.
Fucking hell, Brett. Like fucking. How long did it take you to get onto that? That's the most delayed response ever.
Brett,
I was like, oh,
It just
fuck.
the penny dropped. The penny dropped.
Yeah, like
bless him.
I immediately I guess the visual of Alexis King's beard just popped in my head. I'm like,
That is
fuck,
depressing.
like-
Hope not. It is depressing. No, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like Collision was a great show, wasn't it? I mean, yeah, one of the big talking points I thought was the well, I mean, I'll let Mike sort of get his moment in the sun here. So, because it sounded like it was something that you were waiting for at least what, 11 months, 12 months.
So I like that. It feels like it's been forever.
It's been longer than that, hasn't it?
Yeah,
longer
it's
than
been
forever.
Since he
a
broke it. Oh yeah, it's been like 18 months, hasn't
No,
it? 'Cause
it's
he
been
broke it in
forever. I counted.
a long time. Let's put it that way.
It's been forever, and it's like my beloved, my boy, the man close to my heart, Kota Ibushi returned, and I will
Oh, my
openly
God.
admit this publicly. I cried I don't give a fuck. I'm a 31-year-old man. I cried when Kota Ibushi came out. I love that man so much. And what I will say is, he looked fucking good.
He I woke up really early on Sunday morning. I had a lot to do before I went to London, and I think I heard something. I heard a scream. So it was coming from somewhere in Merseyside, so I can only assume it was from yourself.
It might have been coming from Cumbria because he's not just Mike's boy. I'll use this as an opportunity to jack off because it's red hot. He's also my best boy.
There he is.
My golden star. I have been waiting for him to come back. He just walked in. He was like, keep my wife's name out of your mouth. I am back. To look after Kenny. He did tweet saying it's my turn to save you.
He did slap Okada as well. So, yeah, fair play.
Yeah?
Did he slap? Yeah.
Ibushi or Smith.
Yeah. I have a theory on this.
Oh, God.
I don't think he's fully ready yet, and I think he's going to have the living shit beaten out of him by Okada before All In.
Well, he's got something booked this Wednesday, so we'll know a bit more then. But it looked like the graphic looked to me like he's going to be wrestling, although they don't actually specifically say that.
He may well do, but I do think that he's not fully 100% peak, and I think he will take a beating from Okada, which will give Kenny that fucking boost. I think that's when Kenny. In fact, that could be when we see Kenny return. Actually. Couple of Dynamite maybe next week, maybe the week after, a bit closer. I think Ibushi gets the living shit beaten out of him and Kenny comes back.
I do eventually hope we get the Golden Lovers run that they always wanted. A lot of people complain whenever Kenny is in any kind of tag team, there is a complaint. Why is he in a tag team? Why isn't he on a singles run? Because maybe he wants to be in that fucking tag team with Kota Ibushi for a while. He's always wanted to do that. Let him have his singles run now. Give him the unified title. Then let him and Ibushi just run through the tag division. We need some good babyface tag teams.
We need some
anyway.
tag teams.
That was exactly everything you said there was correct, but you really could have stopped it. There's a lot of people moaning.
Yeah,
because that's they moan about everything. No matter what, honestly, you could give Kenny the title and there'd be people moaning.
Well,
I think the tag division needs a decent. It needs a kick, doesn't it? And I think Kenny and Kota, tag champions, that would be like
I'd watch it in
brilliant.
a heartbeat. But then do you have Okada win? Then do you have Okada win at All In so that it sets them up to
give Kenny a little singles run first, get Ibushi back up to full strength. And then
that's the thing. It's going to be for me like obviously I'm so happy Kota's back because it was such a shock. Like it was just so unexpected. But for me, I just want him to actually be healthy because he's had this tendency in the past where he's returned before he's been fully cleared and ready, and he's able to actually give his best. And then there were times when you would watch him and you think, dude should not have returned by now. I know that there was that one match everyone talks about at, when was it, a couple of years ago when he broke his ankle. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in the past he has had stints where he's taken time off and then he's come back too early before he's actually properly healed up because he's just got that knack. It's just who he is.
I think his last AEW run he looked washed, to be honest.
Yeah, it was one of them. He was a lot slower. He was a bit rustier.
Washed is harsh.
Yeah,
what
washed is.
I hate that fucking term. Actually, that's really harsh.
I was going to say, can we ban the word washed?
Yeah, no,
with fumbled and pivot.
We should. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm all in on that, especially pivot.
But no, I think buried also.
Yeah, buried, good one. But we just talk about banned words here because we've got loads more we could add. But I think he was just. I think he wasn't washed. He was clearly a bit under his level. And
he was not. He was only performing at 60% of what he could be doing. Yeah,
and it feels like instead of taking the break he needed, he was still pushing and pushing and pushing, and it's not the result of his injury. The injury wasn't the result of that, but it probably contributed to it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but so what I hope is that he's at least at a point now where he can deliver better than that. Okay, because especially in this match, it's such a golden, no pun intended, feud for him to come back into. And I think they could tell some really good stories with it. And I think, especially at All In, you're seeing the Golden Lovers, embrace at the end of Kenny's big win. I mean, it's not going to be the biggest and most emotional moment of the whole night for anybody, but, that would still be a very great. Well, nah, come on,
Yes.
man. Like, no.
No.
See,
For me,
Mike and I have romantic souls, okay? We understand.
No, the thing is, it still wouldn't, especially if we get a certain like Eddie Kingston come back at All In. It still wouldn't be like the Golden Lovers reunion wouldn't even break the top 3.
I love the way you said that, and then Mike he was like, "Oh shit, hang on."
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah.
Well, you know what you're talking about stories like involving Kota Ibushi and Kenny. Well, before even Ibushi came out, we got to talk about the Don Callis promo real quick because if
It was
you
great,
pay,
good.
it was so
Very
great.
good.
If you're paying attention,
Yeah.
didn't that promo seem very familiar?
Yes, it did.
Yep.
2 years ago,
He said about
cut
Takeshita.
Yes,
cut the
it was-
same promo with Takeshita. Said he was better than all the Japan greats, and 2 years later, he cuts the same promo with Okada saying he's better than all the greats. Now, a lot of people, I think, this is me personally, I don't know if you guys agree, he just planted the seeds for an eventual split
Yes.
within the Don Callis family himself between Okada and Takeshita right there, because we don't like. I would love if there would have been a camera on Takeshita while the promo was going on, and Takeshita just like feels a certain type of way, like, yo, well, hold up, you just
But he
cut
wasn't
the
out
same...
there, was he?
No, he wasn't out there. It was Alexander and
It's
and
Archer. Yeah,
I think that was. I think
yeah.
that was on purpose. I
Yeah.
think we get a Don Callis civil war, or we get
Ooh.
Takeshita written off while he goes off and does the G1 and becomes
Yeah.
the champ over there.
Well,
Don Callis civil war would be great because obviously Kyle's a heel. He's not turning face anytime soon, but he's going to back up Takeshita. Like he's 100% going to back Takeshita So I'm not sure he gets a full face turn yet, or we just get a. I don't know.
I don't know. I think Fletcher will tease backing Takeshita, like, I got your back if this whole civil war breaks out, and then we've seen it all so often in wrestling over the years.
Yeah, if Kyle will
Just-
turn on Osprey
Just
for Don
stab him in
Callis,
the,
he
just
will
stab
turn
him
on
in the back,
Takeshita.
like, yeah.
It'd be a good one if they do that.
Yes.
Leave him a bloody mess and send him off to win the G1, which he should do.
And then he walks back
Yeah,
in
he
with
should.
the fucking title for revenge.
Well,
and
well,
Don
no, see,
Callis
he-
says,
he-
"Oh, I'm
he-
so sorry."
He the thing is with the G1, it's like he's not going to win the title unless he does what Zack did and actually cash it in early, because we assume that he's just going to have his, if he wins, assuming he wins, which he should do, he's going to have it not till January. He's not going to win the title until January. So are you going to drag this out until then? I think you strike while the iron's hot. You don't wait. You wait for him to finish the tournament but not become the champion. He should come back, for like Wrestle Dream or All Out or something whenever the tournament, or even Forbidden Door. That would be a great one. Takeshita and Okada at Forbidden Door. Yes,
Yep.
please.
With Takeshita
I'd
on
love-
Team New Japan. But he
I'd love
stays
that.
over there until he wins the title because it's not safe for him to come back. The Don Callis family are out to get him. So it's just-
I'd love that. I'd love that.
Oh God!
But then when
Takeshita,
he
Okada
wins,
for
he wins
Raw.
the title at Wrestle Kingdom, and then he comes back with the belt. Oh, do you know what?
To be honest, just Takeshita winning the title is just good. I don't care what the story is. Just Takeshita winning the title doesn't
Well,
need it.
it's like we said last week. New Japan don't really have anybody of his caliber, like in terms of like what he can do in the ring and just how menacing he looks.
You say that, but I heard The Rock was buying them last night. So
Oh, that was
Is
that
that the
major announcement.
latest?
That was that major announcement this morning, wasn't it?
fucking major announcement. Everyone's like, "Oh, The Rock." He teased it on his Instagram 6 months ago. He's buying them.
William.
He's never going to buy New Japan, for fuck's sake. Like, literally, these people will believe anything, I swear.
Sorry, but
I
yeah,
thought
it's.
WWE was for sale. Isn't that the latest? We could all chip in.
I
You
mean,
know
I
what?
can offer a half-eaten bag of peanuts and some spare change in my wallet.
Brilliant.
all
You
the-
can have Raw.
All those sound like wild ideas. Those sound like just a bunch of wild card scenarios right there. Speaking of wild card matches for All In, something that
Nice segue. Well done.
I'm a
I could see where you're going there, Brett.
Okay, so
I'm ready. I'm ready for
wild
this.
card scenarios. Like, let's just think of just scenarios that we haven't even seen played out on TV yet that just come off our crazy bald bastard heads. Like, I know Andy has one. I have one.
do.
Like, I'll let Andy go first. Andy, give me
Right.
your idea.
Okay. Collision laid the groundwork for a match I really want to see, and so many people are going to cry when this is announced because they won't be happy. But we had Mr. Christian Cage was out with his sons, and he was giving some shit to some people who've been under the tutelage of the Learning Tree. So Mr. Chris Jericho is in shape. He posted an Instagram picture. He's looking very trim. He's ready to come back. And I think we will get either Chris Jericho versus Christian Cage, or we will get a Learning Tree versus the Patriarchy 3-on-3.
See, now, I posted this on Twitter that's what we should do. We should run back WrestleMania 20.
Oh, did
Christian
you?
versus Chris Jericho, but with Big Bill in the Trish Stratus.
Well,
I'll be honest. It would be very interesting. I'm not sure Lexi would be too happy at Big Bill snogging Christian at the top of the ramp. I'm not sure Mother Wayne would be too happy either. But
all right, well, Brian Keith can do it then. Brian Keith could be Trish Stratus. He would nail that.
I think they'll either do that, or we'll have Christian. He'll set up a tag match, him and his son, against those two. And I think maybe Jericho returns at the end. Whether he returns and beats the living shit out of his trainees, or whether he comes back to save them. I think he'll come back to save them, because I think they're going to bring Judas back, aren't they, for this one, surely.
They'll have Judas and Metalingus on the same night, I think.
Like, at the end of the day, if they bring Judas back and it's a match at All In, the crowd are going to go fucking crazy no matter what.
Yeah.
Judas kicks in, the crowd will go fucking nuts. So I think that they seem to set the groundwork for that. And also the promos between them were savage. They were fucking brilliant. You had Christian asking Big Bill if he's been drinking. Oh, it's fucking great.
He's so good. This is why he's one of the best that they've got. Whenever he's on TV, it's fantastic. I love it. But
the whole patriarchy is becoming one of my favourite things. Even Mother Wayne in the background, she never says anything, but my God, does she make her presence known?
I know. Her facial reactions were, what Bill. I see people, what Big Bill said was a little bit tacky, but that's kind of the point. Like that's kind of like it's kind of the point. It's the point. It's what he would say. So
it's wrestling, for God's sake.
How is that worse than your dad's dead, lol?
Exactly. That was almost 3 years ago, by the way, which is crazy. But
is it really?
When he started getting in on the whole tag title tournament, not tournament, the shot thing, him and Nick versus presumably the Hurt Syndicate. It got me thinking that the possibility of Christian Cage and MJF on the mic opposite each other. I don't think that there will be anything that will top that for me, because I would pay to see that.
No.
Throw Tate Mayfair's in there. Fuck it. Why not as well?
One thing I did love about it was Christian's he was basically bigging up Nick Wayne. Now he's inflating his ego, so he tried to take him down a bit. Now he's inflating his ego, and he's telling him how good he is, and he's the prodigy. And it's clearly, as we can see, sometimes the most obvious is the best. It's clearly setting up for the Nick Wayne turn, which we're going to get down the line at some point, and eventually get the team up. And I think people are moaning about their age. I don't care. Christian can go. We know Christian can go with anybody, his style. And I still think that on his day, Jericho can go when he wants to. He's shown that over the years.
He did.
People write him off, and even towards the end of last year when he was getting so much stick, he still put out a few good, 4-star matches. So
the matches with Bandido and Mark Briscoe were actually really
great.
Good. Yeah.
But the Bandido one was excellent, man. But the thing is, whenever he has a good match, they go, "Oh yeah, but that's the other fella." The other fella it was carrying him.
Jericho can be on a show for 10 seconds and people will act as though he was on the entire show. Any Chris Jericho is too much for some people, even though I think he's great.
I think he's hilarious.
He's got star power for days. You can't deny that.
Well,
you announce him and he sells tickets.
Exactly. That's why I think he will be on. I think that's the reason. I think Cope will be on somewhere as well because of his name. But so. It's the like you say, the way people talk about him has always been a main event. Hogan the title for the last 2 years. He's a fucking mid-carder, and he's happy as a mid-carder. He doesn't try and be more than a mid-carder.
Yeah. It's not like he's actually inserting himself into the world title picture like fucking Hogan was all the time.
No.
That annoys me, that when people use Hogan against anybody. There's nobody like Hogan. He was a cunt. That was it.
Oh, no, but do you know who is now? Apparently the latest one that I've seen, Viva Van. Because she's got apparently she's got but she's leaning into it now, which I think is quality. She's great.
Well, yeah, but was that Dav that said that?
No, he was joking. He was joking.
No, I know he was taking a piss, but are the people that really think fucking Viva Van is all
this is it? Yeah, but she's leaned into it now, and I think that's good for her.
Hogan now.
So she should.
Taking over from Jericho as the Hogan.
They need to bring her back to AEW, by the way.
Yeah.
I think she's fucking brilliant.
She is excellent. Yeah.
Is she on Ring? I haven't seen her on Ring of Honor for a while either. Like,
I think she's got a contract.
she's got a
under
contract.
one of-
She's just not used, is she?
She
Yeah.
does have a
I thought she was
contract. I don't
independent.
think it
No,
might
she
be
got
one
a
of those
contract.
ones where she's allowed to work like more indie dates, but she prioritizes her like Ring of Honor dates when they come through
Yeah.
or something like that.
Ring of
But
Honor
yeah.
needs
I've seen her on
a
few
TV
indies.
deal.
Yeah,
It needs a TV deal. It's excellent Ring of Honor. More people should watch it. There's some fucking brilliant matches.
Yeah.
Bring her
That's
back to Ring of
why-
Honor or AEW.
That's why they had the title on Jericho for so long,
So-
and people complained
Yeah.
because a big name, would have helped.
Exactly.
But while we're on, just before we move on from Jericho, I'm going to say the other thing about him is how he elevates anyone he works with. Look at Big Bill. Brian
Exactly.
Keith, like, Big Bill
I
is...
can't wait for the Big Bill turn. It should have happened last year. Like,
It should have happened. It's too long now, but whatever. I'll take it when it comes. But there was a perfect time when it should have happened, and I don't know. The only thing with Jericho towards like this latter part of his career now is that he takes a little bit too long to realize something's not working, or drags things out a little bit too long. His timing used to be fucking everything. But like he still elevates people, and you'll get people going, oh yeah, well, what's he done for Brian Keith? Brian Keith was better before. Brian Keith might have been better before, but nobody knew the fuck Brian Keith was outside of indie fans.
Yeah.
Now he's getting TV exposure, and for a while he was on TV every fucking week. Like, I'm not sure what more people want, and then people go, well, they could have just stuck him on TV anyway. You can't do that because no one will give a fuck. You need to make someone care about these characters.
Yeah.
Stupid.
So
It's
what's
like
your
we talk
wild
about
card
AEW
match?
all the time and drop little indie references in just to get people interested.
Like
So what
St.
other wild
Mayfair's.
card
Oh,
predictions do we
shut up, I'll
have?
take
Darwin.
Bloody Mayfair's pit in the ass. Oh, Darwin. All right, you can talk about Darwin.
Sorry, yeah, I've had my wild card. So, like, apart from Leonardo Darwin turning up, what else do you think's going to happen? Brett, what was yours? It wasn't the same as mine, was it?
No, I
Good.
think I'm trying to
Because
think
of
off
the
the
cap.
top of my head. When's the last time we had a ladder match in AEW?
Was it the London ladders match?
Yeah,
All in
all in.
last year.
I think it was,
for the trios titles, right?
For the trio,
been
yeah,
a minute.
it's when the Death Riders, at the time they were still BCC and
Yeah.
Pac, they won it.
Yeah, they won it. I think we're gonna get a ladder match for the TNT title because right
fucking
now
hope so.
we are 2-3 weeks away, and I don't see an obvious 1v1 direction. It should be Adam Cole versus Kyle Fletcher 1-on-1, but you have Daniel Garcia lingering around. You could, I don't know if they want to reheat up Anthony Bones the next few weeks.
He's a heel.
Heel.
Did you
you
not
could
see
throw
the
him-
way he was having a go at Billy Gunn? He's a heel.
Yes.
He's definitely going towards the heel. Sorry.
No, that's
We're
absolutely
coming
right.
back to that, Andy.
Bowens, Fletcher, and Cole. Like I said, you have four. They have a couple weeks to throw in a couple other guys as well. But I don't know. I feel like this being the biggest show of the
Fucking
year,
intellect.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, there's no obvious direction of a 1v1 match between Cole and Fletcher, which it should be. I think they're gonna make the TNT Championship
That's a good
a
show.
ladder match.
I like that.
Yeah.
They should do.
Which I wouldn't hate. Which I would be 100% for. I mean, like, why not? Like I said, I mentioned those four names. Get a couple. You know what? How about throwing Takeshita in there, and in that match, you kind of start the little friction between, because we always see the spot in ladder matches where teammates are in the same match. Like, one is climbing up the match, and then the other one is like, wait, what the fuck? I want to win this match too. When he pulls him off, the other guy climbs up, he pulls him off, and then the pushing, shoving, and they don't go at it like full blow for blow, but you plant the seeds of dissent within the Don Callis family right then and there in that match. Like, they both want to be up top. They're both young guns and both young, hungry lions that, in the middle or end of the match, like, no, they both want to win. But I would hope that still Kyle Fletcher still comes out on top, winning the match at the end, because he needs to be belted up ASAP. But yeah, give me a ladder match for the TNT title.
Okay. Can we throw Max Caster in there as well then, please, if we're putting Bowens in? Because I think it would be hilarious to watch them
Oh,
twat
please,
him with
yeah.
ladders.
Yes, okay, I would take a Bowens in there, and you know what? Let's get some CMLL representation. Mascara Dorada, throw him in the match as well.
Yes,
You can
please.
put him in any match, to be honest.
Any
I'd be
match,
happy.
but yeah, no, a ladder match. Dorada and I'm curious.
Can I have
your
Hechicero? I know ladders isn't necessarily his match, but I just love him and I want.
I was
him
gonna say, what
everywhere.
about? I'm curious the reaction that Atlantis Jr. would get in Texas, because he's booed in Mexico. I'm just curious, what would be the reaction he would get in Texas. So, like, yeah, I would be fine. Like, get Mascara Dorada and Atlantis Jr. in there. You have a good 6-7 man lineup for that match. I say, do it.
Oh.
That'd be great.
Well, Brett,
what's
back up a bit, mate. You're missing a name.
Who's that?
A former TNT champion who would fit perfectly in a ladder match.
Is it Jack Perry? Because it should be
No,
Jack Perry.
one of Brett's favourites, man. He just bought his bloody golf cart fucking thing.
Sammy!
Oh, Sammy! Oh, fuck
No,
yeah,
he's a
Sammy.
tag champion.
Absolutely.
He
Sammy's
would
the
make
tag champ with Dustin.
I don't care. He'd
And their
be
sons
brilliant
are
in that ladder
Texas.
match.
Listen, okay.
No,
Texas,
the Sons
yes.
of Texas need to be a tag match.
Sammy
Sammy
in that
can do
match
both.
can, if
Yeah,
it's
right.
possible, with the right guy in the ring, can we recreate that springboard double ladder cutter that he did on Cody?
It's one of the
3
best
years
I've ever seen.
I have
And
more
I-
about
incredible.
that in a minute.
And guess what? You know, the perfect man would be in that match. It's got Kyle. I love you. Kyle would be the perfect man to take that cutter because he would sell it like death. So, dude, I think we just talked ourselves into like a good 7-8 man, like for a ladder match for that TNT spot. Like, yes, now I want it. I want the ladder match now.
You got to do it. I have law
I
about
do.
that cutter, actually. I was at a convention, it was a good few years ago now, and they were interviewing DDP on a panel, and someone said who has the best cutter in the business, because obviously DDP is the expert. He says, overall, Randy Orton. He said, but the best individual single cutter I have ever seen in my life was Sammy hitting that one on Cody. So from
it was
DDP
incredible.
himself, that is the greatest cutter of all time. Sammy's on Cody.
It was so clean. The timing was perfect. And he just said go. He didn't hesitate. Because I'm sure in that spot, if you hesitate, you're gonna crash and burn. Like it's like boom, boom, and like you said, the cutter was just so fucking clean. But yeah, I need that 7-8 man ladder match for the TNT title. Like that would be. I'm just curious. Like okay, so we have CMLL talent. Like if you wanted to maybe get a RevPro or
Robbie X.
Robbie X.
Robbie X.
Robbie X.
Who is New
Robbie
Japan,
X.
technically, but yeah. Bullet Club rep in there.
Robbie X every day of the week.
Oof.
He's fucking incredible.
If we're throwing out just indie
Honestly,
names,
honest.
then I want Jake McCluskey. But yeah, if we're going for specific
Yeah.
factions, then we'll have Robbie X.
I would agree with that.
You know what the problem with that
Agreed.
match might be? That ladder match, the names that's a show stealer right there.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Now I'm thinking, I want it now.
And then
I'm
here's the
going
thing,
to book it myself.
It's a show stealer with a card that already has Tony Storm and Mercedes, Kent Omega and Okada,
The
Moxley
pacing-
and Hangman, and then if you throw that fucking ladder match, I don't know where did you? I would hate to be Tony Khan like positioning that match card. Like where do you put all of it?
The pacing on this card's impossible. I was thinking about this yesterday, especially when we were talking when that rock solid news came in that Athena and Thunder Rosa were having a match at all in that from that source that was telling us about Hangman and Swerve tag teaming and all that, and Darby winning the title in a few days. But when that news came in, I was thinking, okay, well, yeah, you could do that, but where would you put it? Because that would be an ideal first match if they did do that, for her to then be able to interfere later. But ideally, for me, the women's match has to be first.
Yeah.
The Tony Storm
Tony opens
Mercedes
the show.
has to be that opening match.
It makes it feel like a huge show. If you open with
Yeah.
Tony Storm, she's got a big show gimmick. Not the big show. A big show gimmick. Yeah, you absolutely open with Tony and Mercedes.
Well, they did it
Has
at
to.
Double or Nothing, didn't they?
Yeah.
Mercedes and Jamie opened, and it was a great idea to do it like that way.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's perfect. Perfect positioning.
Can we jump back a minute, Andy? I want you to explain something. Show your work on Anthony Bowens as a heel, because that's.
Have you not
baffled
watched
me.
any of his promos?
Yes.
It's fucking full on narcissistic traits. It's I am the best, I am this, I am that, I am, and he had to go with Billy Gunn the other day as well. All
Yeah,
Max
Billy Gunn
Caster's ever been
was
doing is trying to.
useless. He
All
didn't
Max
help.
Caster's ever been doing, yeah, but like he shouldn't be having a go at his dad.
It's not
All
his
Max,
dad.
I think you'll find it is. He adopted him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like all Max Caster's ever been doing is trying to, further his career and kind of, get the attention of the fans. The fans, we all love him. Anthony Bones, it's all about him. Me. I am the best at this. I'm the best at that. I'm the best at this. I'm the pride of professional wrestling. Billy, get the fuck out. You're stopping me with a match. Fuck off. He's a modern day Mr. Perfect, his gimmick. It's exactly what it is. The best at everything and a narcissistic side to it as well. I think if it turned out that he is the heel and Max is the face in all this.
Max has been the face the whole time.
Yeah,
What has Max done that is bad in a sense? He's saying he's the
Nothing.
Nothing
the
at
best
all.
wrestler alive. He's done since day one, since he came into
He's
the
believing
company.
in himself.
He believes
What's wrong with that?
What is wrong with having supreme confidence in your abilities today? It's like
He's
with
fucking got
it's
any
like with,
abilities. He's
it's like
forgot
with Will
how to win.
Ospreay. It's like whenever Will Ospreay does any interview, when he says that he is the best and he is better than anyone, even on his worst day, he's better than anyone in WWE on their best day. Like,
not wrong.
It's
he's
supreme
right.
fucking confidence. But
So is Max Caster.
yeah, but it's like, oh, you got to be humble. Like, fuck that. I'd rather real cockiness than fake humbleness any day. Because guess what? At the end of the day, we love our in-ring work, but also we love to be fucking entertained. We love these larger-than-life characters. That's what the fuck that they're giving us right there. And I'm sorry they're not just some bland, basic bitches that you guys like to pretend like, oh, be humble, be this, eat your vitamins. Fuck the vitamins, all right? Drink a pint, take a shot, man. Have fucking confidence in yourself, okay?
I love Max Caster, but who can survive the best wrestler alive? Max, I'm not sure you can survive the best wrestler alive, dude. He's gonna get himself killed.
When he
God,
gets
are
I
that
think
W,
I could beat Max Caster.
Are you
when
saying
he
we're-
gets that win, it will be the biggest fucking
He's
moment in
forgotten
AEW
how
history.
to win.
Are you saying that that they're going to pull a fake Kane or a fake Undertaker and we're going to get Max Caster versus Max Caster? What?
No,
No,
I'm
it's-
saying he's going
it's-
to beat the shit out of himself one day. Trip tear his quads, getting in the ring.
I think he's going to get a win soon.
Hi, Cameron.
It's got to be against. It has to be against Bones.
Oh god.
Do you imagine?
Imagine that.
All right,
That would be
you've-
so
you've
good.
almost convinced me. I'm not entirely convinced, but
I just don't agree with people beating up their dad, and that's what Bones is verging on doing. He's going to end up beating the shit out of his dad. Maybe that's how we bring the
fine when
guns
somebody
back.
was smacking his dad with barbed wire the other day.
Bring the
They were,
guns back.
electrocuting him in TNT. You
I
were
want the
fine with
guns
that.
back.
Yeah, I want the
yeah,
guns back.
yeah. I forgot about that fella. Yeah, he's a granddad. He's fine. He's the deathmatch granddad. Yeah, bring the guns back. I want the guns back. Where's Juice Robinson? Bring him back as well.
He's
Bring
nearly
them all
healed,
back.
Should be nearly here.
Juice
Soon.
is close.
I hope Buddy Matthews is also learning to lie from Cody Rhodes
Oh,
because I don't like the sound of this news that he's out for a while longer. This is bad.
It's
No,
not
they
good,
said he
is
was
it?
hoping for April, and now it's going to be indefinite, like unknown. Which
I hope he's lying and he's back for All In. I want Buddy Matthews back in the mix.
I wanted Buddy and Brody as a tag team. If Buddy is not, though, I think they need to start putting Brody in some singles gold runs.
Do you know what? If not, Brody would do the perfect, a better version of what Miro was doing with that title. If he won the TNT title, he'd just fucking demolish everybody, and it would be believable and brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, who
Oh.
wants
Not
an
having
open
tag
challenge
with Darby
against
Allin.
Brody King?
Well,
they take that.
Well, do you know what? That's a great one. That tag with Darby Allin. When Darby comes out to stop the Death Riders' interference,
Because that
bring
was the
fucking
thing.
Brody with him.
That was the
The
thing.
mates
Was
are
it?
there.
Was
They've
it? Was it
bonded,
at,
flinging each other about.
at Full Gear, wasn't it? Or was it Wrestle Dream last year when they had the match, Darby
Wrestle
and Brody,
Dream, yeah.
and then Brody showed him respect afterwards, and then the Death Riders were gonna they had the same thing in the C2,
Yeah.
but Brody was backing him up because he
He
started.
stood in the way, didn't he?
Yeah,
and
he
they
was
shit
like-
themselves, yeah.
The finishing
would
move
love
could
it.
just be Brody picks up Darby and whacks them, beats the
He's-
shit out of them
He,
with
he doesn't
Darby.
need to hit any of his own moves.
That has
he
to
could just
happen,
use-
though.
He could just use
Yeah.
Darby Allin as a weapon. He just hit him.
That
with
has to
Darby.
happen, though.
Darby would love that. It would make his day.
Darby could go into full cannonball mode.
Ooh.
Brody would pick him up and just be like...
No, Brody
off,
picks
you
him up
swats.
like in a razor's edge type
Yeah.
position. He throws him, but Darby lands like a coffin drop.
Coffin. That's the
Coffin's
one.
Edge,
Yeah,
or
we've got
Coffin's
it.
Edge.
We've nailed it.
The
Coffin's
Coffin's
Edge.
Mr. Khan, if you are listening, this
We know
is
you
what
are.
you have to do. This is fucking brilliant. And also,
Coffin's Edge.
yeah, just do it anyway.
Also, if you're listening, where's Brandon Cutler, sexy dragon man? We know you're watching, Tony.
He's wrestling in camping tents apparently on.
Oh, that was
Mr.
ages ago. That's an old match. He did
Well,
the one
that
with
was old.
Ortiz
I saw
after
the
that.
clip recently on. I've
seen it many
TikTok,
times.
Yeah.
Mr.
Gotcha.
City, if you are listening, do this thing with Brody and Darby.
Yeah. Stop getting beaten up by.
I don't know who else to
Mexican.
write. I don't know who else is. Who else?
Will Washington.
Mr.
Yeah,
Washington.
Who the fuck's that guy?
If you are listening, they're Seattle guys. Seattle, Washington. Washington, do it, Will. You have the will to do this, Washington.
I loved you on BTA. All right.
So yeah, what? Any more surprise? In fact, we've only had mine and Brett's, haven't we? As the guesses. Any
Yeah,
more
we got
guesses of
overexcited.
batshit crazy ideas?
I want a cage match between Queen Aminata and Tekla, please.
I don't think that's going to happen, but I would like that.
No, we're doing wild cards though, but I just want Queen Aminata to be allowed to kick the shit out of people.
Is it a women's fucking?
Casino
It,
goal.
it's a
Thingy-mabobs.
woman's
So-
They match. They
Do-
did
do
it
you think-
right after. They did it right
They haven't
after. the
clarified it though.
But
This
listen,
gets me worried.
It would be really shitty if they pulled the graphic right after the women's 8 tag, put the graphic right at the conclusion match, and it's a man. No, I'm sorry, 100% it's a women's. I think they're gonna get both. I think we're gonna get both a men's and a women's.
Chuck
we
them
get
both
both
on the
of them.
pre-show if they have to.
No. You can't.
No?
If they're gonna do a women's, that you can't put on the pre-show. It needs
Why
to be
not?
on the
Because
main
then
card.
later on they can come out and make a pest of themselves. Whoever wins it.
They should stack the pre-show this time, definitely.
They've got an hour and a half.
Yeah, like an hour and a half pre-show and
Put
then
the
like a
Outrunners
4.5 hour main show. So it'd be
No
long.
fucking way. The Outrunners on the main card. Just see FTR giving them shit. Hey,
did.
no, we're cool, man. There's nothing cool about you guys.
I did. I used to love you, FTR.
They're not gonna make it to All In, Andy, because I know we love the Outrunners, but within the next week or two, they're gonna have that tag match.
Oh, yeah, little faith.
Do,
FTR, the Outrunners, all in.
You got them
So-
reflective
so-
in your
so-
glasses again, Andy.
So
I've
I guess
got
you
it
could say
reflected,
that I don't really have any like wild card out there kind of theories for All In, but one of the things I would love to happen. Well, I suppose one is semi-realistic. One is I'd like them to just have like a batshit tag team battle royal ladder kind of scramble affair, whatever it might be.
With the
like,
Outrunners and FTR.
throw the Outrunners and FTR in
Okay,
there.
I like it.
But with the Hurt
infantry as
Syndicate,
well,
with Jet
please.
Speed, with the infantry, with the patriarchy, with the Learning Tree, with the Gates of Agony, like just throw everybody in this match. Just so do that just for the laugh. But have the Hurt
Sure,
Syndicate win.
is that a casino battle royale, a tag team version?
Because
I like that.
they have done that before. They have.
Yeah. Wasn't that
Yeah,
for
I'd
money
like
or
that.
something as well?
That was they did that last year, which Osprey and Fletcher won, and
Yeah.
they wound up to facing the Bucks at Grand Slam.
Oh,
in-
I was
Yeah.
thinking of the one where there was all that money at stake, but that was a different one.
That was a
wasn't
trios one, but that was a battle royal. I think that was
They could-
just like a.
They could do
standard
that one on the pre-card.
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
But the other one I had, which is semi-realistic, is I think we're getting a mask versus hair match between MJF and Mystico.
It feels like that has to happen, doesn't it?
Or like a
God,
mask versus fake tan.
They need
No.
to leverage this Mystico
Because
like,
MJF
That's versus
MJF
staff.
doesn't. I don't know what else MJF does on the card. It's got to be him and Mystico again, but in
It
like a
has to
rubber
be.
match, like 2 out of 3 falls, but with
Yes.
with some stakes. You know what I mean?
But like,
Not-
surely Mystico has to win this.
yeah, he
yeah,
has to,
he
and-
should. He should. Mystico should not lose his mask.
And this
Mystico.
is how they settle a lot of us the real heated
I'm with this.
rivalries in
Yeah.
CMLL. They do the 2 out of 3 falls match, mask versus hair, and like I said, Mystico has to win. And you know, for any of our older listeners, remember when it was Edge versus Kurt Angle, hair versus hair, when Angle lost. Remember, I think it was a couple weeks that Angle did the
He wore
fake
the
hair
toupee. He wore
with
the
the
toupee
helmet,
thing, yeah.
with the wrestling helmet. It would be the most hysterical shit if MJF did something similar. Where we clearly see his head get shaven off at All In.
He could pull that off as
And then he comes off with just a big ugly ass perm or whatever, just over his head. Like it would be fucking great TV for. Let it last for like
The
2 or
wig
3
he
weeks.
Have you seen the picture of him from Iron Claw when he's got that
Yeah.
blonde wig?
Yes.
That's
Oh,
what
yes,
he wears.
Yes.
Oh
yeah.
my god!
The
I
thing
think we're
is-
getting that match. We're getting that match.
We have
Why
to.
aren't we
have
booking
to.
all in? This would be amazing.
We have to. Tony, I know I asked you for the other thing, but like, also, can you do this as well?
Yeah.
Do you think
have
we
a
ask
list.
Tony for too much?
No, because he never gives me. I always say it's all I want. I've asked for anything else, but
Well, you're a damn liar, Lucy. Clearly, that's why
yeah,
you
because he
ain't
hasn't
giving us
given
it.
me any of the things I ask for. Where's my
I want a
pony?
new in a circle. I want a new in a circle. Where's that? I want Sammy to be elevated again.
I want Jack Perry, please. I don't care if he ruins the main event.
I don't mind
circle.
Keep that little troublemaker Perry away from the main event.
No, just have him keep making shivs in his shed and just...
No, stop arsing about with pine cones and get back in that ring, Jack Perry. The Elite is in shambles.
Do you think they just retcon this now, the Jack Perry stuff? And I'm thinking the same with Luchasaurus, or do you think they actually do play? Because with Okada, it's like they've just been like, we just forget about the new Elite.
No, the Young Bucks have said, they stated, Okada is only in the Don Callis family until after All In. He's still he's still in the Elite.
Okay.
Well, they said that, but Don might have other ideas. Also, do you remember? I've thought of something.
Okada on a pole match.
Well, hang on.
Okada on a forklift. I've got another one. I've got. Go on, Andy. I've got something.
No, I was going to say, if Don has other ideas, who's
Don
to say
has
we don't?
slapped Matt Jackson before.
Like, bear in mind, this is the most batshit booking idea ever. But who's to say if Don has other ideas, but they are saying no, he's definitely going back? Who's to say Don double crosses everyone? Who's to say he's not double crossing Okada?
Well, there's one.
Can we get a heel Kenny Omega back? Reuniting with Don Callis.
But
no, Ibushi's back, and Ibushi does not turn heel.
No. You've not said this because do you remember when Gabe Kidd was on Collision staring down Mark Briscoe? Do you remember when Gabe Kidd was fighting the Butcher on Collision, and then you saw who was watching in the back on the monitor? Don Callis. What if Don Callis is trying to screw the Elite with Gabe Kidd as the double agent? Imagine if he's gotten to him sooner.
Okay, because they have been working with Gabe Kidd as part of Death Riders.
Yes.
But Gabe isn't there.
Exactly. Don Callis is the mastermind behind all of it. I'm telling you.
He is. Also, Brett, I heard what you said about Kenny turning on Ibushi, and I'm going to pretend you didn't say it because I'd hate to have to fly over there and yell at you directly.
In my perfect world, and I already talked about this leading into All In back in London next year.
Mike,
where the obvious, I'm talking about All In next year when it goes back to Wembley. It's right there. The main event, I think, it should already be in paper. It should already be on paper, written out. It should be Ospreay Omega 3 next year, your main event at All In Wembley. But along the way, we are going to get a heel Omega. How we get there? Now you have multiple possibilities right there. Dan brought up what if he reunites with Callis? But you need something to ignite that Omega heel turn. And guess what? You got the Golden Star back right there. Everyone is already fantasy booking tag team runs with them. They're back. They're gonna embrace and all this. But then 3-4 months down the line, let's say if they have the tag title run, they lose it and they embrace one more time, and then just bam, right between the uprights, Omega just punts Kota right in the nether region down there, and the Golden Lovers are no more, and we get a heel Omega as champion. A nice lengthy run. He should go into Wembley next year as your champion, and that's where Ospreay gets his crowning moment, right there.
What's wrong with you, Brett? Why do you hate love? Who hurt you, Brett? Why are you like this? Mike, speak to him. Tell him no.
I like the idea of that, but then I also want Darby to beat the shit out of Sting, and I want Daddy Garcia to beat the shit out of Daddy Magic.
Something wrong with you? I thought you didn't want people to beat up their dads.
Stepdads are an exception.
Yeah, he's not his real dad.
Daddy Magic, the clue's in the name.
He's not his real dad. Not like Billy Gunn is to Anthony Bowens.
Sting is Darby's real dad.
Sting's turning up at All In. I'm telling you now, he's turning up at All In.
It's Bryan Danielson.
Nailed on.
Oh,
I think
nailed on.
I think Sting, Bryan Danielson, and Darby all turn up to beat the shit out of the Death Riders while Hangman finishes off Moxley. And I think Bryan Danielson's going to have some face paint on as well. Sting face paint.
Is he
Only
gonna,
because I thought
he's going to come
I
out.
did think it was
Darby's going to come out first to his music, then Seek and Destroy is going to hit, then the final countdown's going to hit.
The only reason I'm fantasy booking that in my head is because I did think it was cool as fuck when Punk did it with them, but now that guy's a
Copeland
fucking.
did as well.
Hold on.
The coolest image ever of the three of them with Corp, Sting, and Darby.
Yeah.
No, I don't want Danielson with the face paint. We all know Danielson. His most recent appearance in Mexico was the ROH Global Wars where he helped out Blue Panther. a Blue Panther comes out to help beat the Death Riders, and when everyone's taking out,
he takes his mask off.
Mask and it's fucking Bryan Danielson. Like, he loves Blue Panther. Like that would be fucking amazing.
Inherits the My theory is Bryan Danielson has never stopped wrestling. He's just been rocking up places in luchador masks. He was the one fighting Simon Miller at Mystery Wrestling dressed in a Sasquatch suit.
He probably has. Honestly, I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
In fact,
it's him all over. He's probably at Butlins now.
Ask for confirmation from Simon Miller and Evil Uno at that Mystery Wrestling match where Simon Miller versus Sasquatch. Was Bryan Danielson in the Sasquatch costume? You got to tell us if he was.
Is he about the right height, wasn't he? He's about the right height.
Yeah, I feel like he probably was. He would go out in the garden and wrestle for the pigeons if that was the only way he could do it. I'm betting money. I'll put money on it now. You all owe me a tenner if Bryan was in the Sasquatch suit.
Mike, what's your batshit crazy idea then? You must have one.
Yeah, I've got one. It's been hampered by other people. It's not as crazy. I think we're gonna get some form of clusterfuck trios match. Because the Ops aren't doing nothing. I think we're gonna get something with the Ops, Paragon, Don Callis family, throw the infantry in there, just a mad ladder match, sort of similar to Brett's ideas. Because they've been doing a lot of Paragon versus Don Callis family. I think that's really
Paragon, that takes the TNT title out of the picture.
Yeah, unless he loses
and where's
before.
Kyle O'Reilly anyway?
I don't know, actually. I mean, he was not Collision just gone, but he was on the Collision before that. That wasn't Grand Slam, was it? So because it was him and Rod. No, Roddy didn't even go over, did he? But Roddy was on Collision. Yeah. No idea.
Yeah, Roddy took the pin.
Yeah.
Where's Mark Davis? Is he still injured?
By all accounts, yes.
I was gutted because we were all
he was doing all right, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, we were all convinced he was going to really struggle as a singles guy, but he was fucking brilliant when he came back.
I think it was his foot or ankle that got hurt, if I'm correct.
Oh, I hope he's doing well and he's on the mend because we need him back as well.
No, like you said, I was concerned about him going single, but no, he was working out.
He was killing it.
He's a monster.
Yeah.
And
there was that four-way, wasn't there? And he was like the star of the four-way.
Yeah, he took the pin, but it was like a fluke pin. But he looked like he was going to win it a couple times.
It was Speedball and Ricochet that pin Mark Davis, which led to the triple threat at Dynasty with Omega for the international title.
Speaking of Ricochet, what about this then? Anthony Bones' final like kind of move in his heel turn. He joins Ricochet. And the two of them beat the shit out of Anthony Bones' dad. Because he's the best at everything, and he wants to get to the top. He's the best ever. Billy Gunn and being nice isn't doing it, so fuck it. He joins Ricochet.
Oh, God. I will take anyone. Fuck it, Ibushi can join Ricochet.
Perfect scene right now. Like, Bowens is just so fed up. He beats down Billy Gunn in the back, and then in the background comes walking in? Ricochet. And he just loves his work, and they just handshake right there. But I don't think that'll be his only partner that Ricochet gets. I think he's still gonna get more. And hold on, we bring up Ricochet. Shit, throw him in that ladder match for the TNT title. Like, I think you have four faces, four heels in that ladder match. Like I said, that's a show stealer right there.
Mm-hmm. On a card with Okada and Omega, that's hard to do, but yeah, it probably would. Let's be honest.
I still think Hangman Moxley Texas Death Match is going to be the match of the night. I genuinely think it is.
It probably will be, just for the pure It's why Danielson Swerve was my favorite match last year, because of the moment and everything around it. But yeah.
Well, and the fact that the two of them are at the top of the game, and Moxley is in the best shape he's ever been in.
God,
and as much as people hate his gimmick. The man can.
I don't hate his gimmick.
I fucking love the gimmick.
I don't hate his gimmick.
Okay, people hated the gimmick for a while. I don't hate it. That's why I was so angry against pivoting merchants. See the story through, and now
it was a good start. It was a good start. Unfortunately, it dipped. With getting Copeland. And before we go to the next topic, can we stop doing revisionist history with Copeland, saying that his entire AEW run's been shit? It was good in the beginning. The stuff he did with Christian was good. His TNT run, the Cope opening was fucking great. Unfortunately, he had the injury in the cage match with where they messed up, you got to put this on Tony and the booking committee, putting him and the Death Riders in the main event scene when you have guys like when you have Jay White, when you had Hangman, when you had Ospreay, Swerve, all these other main, that's the problem right there. But don't put that on Copeland. He's not the booker. He's not one putting himself in. Like, no, Copeland's run has been fucking good. And even the match the hardcore match they had where he slammed Moxley on Spike, like,
I still think they should have done that match at Revolution and have had it like halfway through the card, and then had obviously Tony Mariah main event. But then obviously there's other circumstances around that as to why they didn't.
Leaving at that point, which I didn't realise. I gave them a lot of shit for that.
A reason as to why. Yeah, I understand why. But I think that match just rubs people the wrong way because, again, it was like the Mercedes and Britt match at All In last year. It
say the same thing.
It followed like 3 back-to-back banger matches in a row, so the crowd was just completely dead. It's why the pacing of these cards is really important. You put the match that people aren't all that thrilled about, you put it in the right spot, and it can still like over-deliver.
You watch that match back again, both of them actually, the Britt Mercedes one and the Cope Mox one. They're not that bad. They're just not. They're not great.
They're just not, because it followed Omega Takeshita, and it followed the Hollywood ending, and it followed Ospreay and Fletcher in the cage.
But they're not the 1-star matches people were making them out to be at the time. It's just it's the pacing is so fucking important in these
just
things.
Like an All In last year, like Mercedes and Britt, it followed
a good match.
It followed MJF Ospreay, but it also followed the Casino Gauntlet match.
So everyone was knackered. Everyone was dead. Like they just needed to. They'd been watching solidly for like an hour and a half. They just needed to go and get a drink, go to the toilet, go get some food, and then naturally it was dead for 15 minutes of the match. So
that's something they need to consider for this All In. They need to put a match in that is basically the QT Marshall Big Show match. Like Paul White match.
Every card
my favourite match.
Every card needs a match like that. Like
they do. Like it's the go-to when we talk about these things. That was so perfectly placed, and they do need something like that because otherwise. It's a struggle. I mean, look at All In. Like people forget that like that Darby Allin and Jack Perry had the same crowd reaction. Shit, because the crowd were fucked. But no one bothers to go back to that because it's just everyone just wants to dunk on Britt and Mercedes.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just for different reasons. Britt
completely different.
Yeah, Britt because apparently somebody makes up rumours about her and her private life and then claims that she apologised to them, and then Mercedes just because she's a very successful black woman who left WWE and is actually like is the best in the world. Like there's no argument. If you look objectively, like she is the best in the world.
Yeah, I've just bought tickets to go and see her RevPro Super Sizzler. No other matches announced. We haven't even announced what her match is.
They haven't announced. No. Who do you think she's going to face?
That's her star power.
Guys, sorry to interrupt the recent. Well, this is a tweet from Dave Meltzer over an hour ago. Gulf News, Al Arabiya TV, and Al Jazeera TV announced a full suspension of civilian flights through the airspace of UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar. What? WWE's setup crew already left and is on the way.
Ooh, okay.
So that means that they were still in plans, in motion to go on with Night of Champions.
Well, we shall see. This could be keeping us interested throughout the night, couldn't it? To be honest. But...
Before we move on to our next segment as well, can people stop taking, and the drain maker's the worst for this, can people stop taking little tidbits from Dave and Brian chatting shit and posting it as stories, as news, because it's not fucking news. They don't even say themselves that this is actual things that
people
are actually
give Meltzer so
happening.
Much shit for being wrong about things he never said.
But
imagine if they did that with us.
They're speculating. It's like us chatting now. It'd be like someone putting on the news that David Arquette is nailed on to say because I said it. I'd be, I did actually say that. That's a bad example. But it'd be like someone saying, I don't know, they're going to do a ladder match.
Yeah.
Oh, ladder match is happening. Brett says, and like we're just speculating. But that's all Dave and Brian do. They speculate. They don't actually say this is happening. But the amount of things we've had, Darby Allin is definitely winning the world title. They're going to put the title on him. He's going to beat Mox. He's the end of Death Riders. That's the whole story. That was one that's attributed to him, and it's nailed on. Apparently, it's still going to happen in a few weeks. Hangman and Swerve tagging. That's apparently nailed on. No, fuck off. It's not. I wouldn't be surprised if the Happy Gilmore trailer tonight has loads of MJF clips in it because that sounds like bullshit as well, as much as I hate them cunts. You've got the Athena and
Thunder
Thunder
Rose.
Rosa all in, and he's already said, Dave, well, no, that's not happening. That's Supercard of Honor. That's what he was on about. So, like, just please, people. Jeff Jarrett winning the world title, that was the other one. Oh, yeah, they may look at Jeff Jarrett with the title. They were never going to put the title on Jeff Jarrett. Shut the fuck up. He said he wants to win the title. Every single fucking wrestler should want to win the title. Dustin Rhodes said it as well. Do you think he's going to win it? No. So,
People need to stop.
Stop. Calm down. Everyone needs to chill. Right.
Quick update.
Next segment.
All right, quick update here
So-
saying that the WWE production guys are stuck at Qatar Airport.
Oh, they made it that
So they
far.
haven't even got there.
Quite all right.
They'll
That's still quite
Well,
far.
yeah.
they'll get through.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I think
Meltzer gets, other than maybe Sean Ross Sapp, people are more desperate to see Meltzer be wrong
No, it's
Yeah.
not.
than anything. Like, they take such joy in it. My favourite thing is when people try and do it with Sean Ross Sapp and he's like, nah, bitch, I saved this from like 3 years ago. Have some
I'll
fucking
bookmark
receipts.
this. Yeah.
But when Meltzer
love
says
that.
something, no, a lot of the time, like I say, it's speculation with him and Brian just chatting shit. And look, Brian does chat a lot of shit as well. Fucking hell. And like, at least with Sean Ross Sapp, when he reports something, he will only say it when it's as news, when he's had multiple verifications.
Yeah, he's
so
never
like when he says
actually
it,
wrong.
yeah, Dave doesn't go, oh, I've had multiple sources. He just say, oh, I heard that this might be a plan, and and then they chat about it. It's not fucking news.
No, it's not like he's actually reporting it as if to say, well,
No.
yeah. It's not like I did it last week at the beginning of the episode with my sources, but, that's different.
Secret sauces. The secret sauce.
Levi Roots.
The secret sauces
Yeah. It's plural.
is our JC. Yeah.
We need to
Yeah,
make some
can we do that?
progress.
Can we just report
on,
things
on
and have it?
segments?
Speaking of progress.
We can make progress
Oh, well
by
done.
talking about a show that some of us are going to. Mike is not on the call anymore.
going.
I think his internet's
going.
screwed up. But no, progress
Wouldn't
far
miss
from
it.
ordinary people. Chapter 181. Progress, obviously,
Manchester.
we're big fans of, big friends with on the podcast. So this card looks fucking nuts. I'm jealous of you lot.
It does
Should
look
be.
fantastic. doesn't it?
Brilliant.
Lovely
And
to have
do
it
you know
north,
what?
so I don't
Like,
have to drive all that way.
But I'm not going to go into too much detail about it. But the fact that they've got 3 women's matches
I
after
was just going to say the same.
I mean, two of them are very much intertwined within a story, like a bigger story, and the other one is very much kind of. I mean, there is a story around the other one, but fair play to for listening. I guess progress, because you got a lot of stick after Super Strong Style because of the lack of women's matches on the card, and rightfully the discussion around like women's involvement in like tournaments and like intergender wrestling. Fair play. You have my respect for that, and but the matches themselves should be quality as well as all the other ones. But yeah, I mean, like out of you, for you guys who are going, like which one are you most looking forward to, and tell me why. So I have an idea as to which one I think it would be, but I want to hear it from your guys' mouths.
Anything with Holly Barlow in it is going to get my attention because she is my current fave. But
For me, it's the Shotzi match, just because
that
didn't
was
rate-
it. The
I'm
book.
surprised. Do you know what? Do you know what?
I didn't rate her at all, and then I seen her in the match in GCW, and it's like, oh fuck, she can actually go.
Yes.
It's just when these guys are let off the leash, and say, we've seen the same with Bronson.
Yeah.
When these guys are let off the leash a bit and allowed to express themselves a bit more and try new things, some of the talent they've got is just fucking incredible.
Do you know, I'm surprised you didn't say the Lana Austin and Kanji match, because like that to me, imagine that being like a featured match on your card, and it
It's
also
insane,
being
isn't it?
not one of the possible like shoe-ins for match of the night. That's crazy. I saw. I mean, Lana Austin is just a national treasure. She should be
Oh,
protected
God,
at all
yeah.
costs. But yeah, obviously, the wider story is Shotzi's facing Nina, Kanji is facing Lana, but Kanji and
Pick
Nina
your-
are set to face off in London next month.
Yes, this is Pick Your Poison,
Pick
where
Your
they chose
Poison.
each other's.
Yeah. They chose each other's
opponents.
opponents and everything. So I think we're going to get some shenanigans. Maybe someone is going to, like Lana's going to try and get the upper hand, but she's also going to try and force Holly Barlow to do her dirty work to try and, because she's being paid off by Nina, isn't she? She's going to be like, she's going to inflict some damage on Kanji.
As long as we get.
I think Kanji and Nina are going to win, and that's going to feed into the next match.
I think that's where Shotzi ain't winning.
No.
As you know, it's the old territories thing, isn't it? She's coming in to put her over, and so she should do.
Yeah, but it should be a quality series of matches there. But I'm looking forward to the
Definitely.
But the yeah, it's going into like London next month when you've got like the loser leaves progress. It's you can start to see some stakes added to that one, and I'm not talking the ones that Mercedes was having, which were medium rare or like dead rare. But no, I mean I'm jealous for you guys because you got the rematch from Super Strong Style, which Lucy and I were at. You got Jacob's Cara Noir 4. If you've never seen, oh my god, I don't know how they're going to possibly top that one in London, but like my god,
that is one of my favourite endings that I've ever been there for, because just that he won because he was just so fucked that he just collapsed on Cara.
Yeah, he did. He didn't even know that he was actually he wasn't even conscious. He just fell and got the win.
Luke that victory has to be eating at Luke because it wasn't a real victory. As Cara was one of his biggest fans, I will claim to my dying day Luke won bugger all that day.
It was a fluke.
Black Swan's got it this time.
Team Jacobs. I think Luke's winning.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's losing
I
it in his
can't see.
hometown.
He's not losing.
He's the
it.
best.
There's one man I will boo Luke Jacobs for, and that's Cara Noir.
He's the best person to hold that belt at the moment for me. Still.
Yeah, fully.
feel like
Until
he's
Darius gets his strong style shot.
I think that's where it's going. That feels
to
like
me
it's where it's going.
feels like the most natural thing. No, other matches. I mean, we've ran through like over half the card already. We've also got Chris Ridgway and man like Darius. Speaking of, that should be quality because Ridgway was great the other night.
He was actually, yeah.
Yeah, he looks in phenomenal shape. But Darius is just, to pardon the pun, he is on fire. Like at the moment, like he's really
he's
killing.
one of the best in the world. Darius, I love him.
He's so good.
He's got everything. He's another one who's in that kind of that Tate Mayfair's, like a little bit different because of Tate Mayfair's character, but he's another one who's in that mold in terms of not mold, but that bracket has every single aspect of wrestling.
There's no
down to a T.
downside to man like Darius.
He's so
Not
British.
one.
He's just so British as well.
I know.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I think that's the only thing that's going to hold him back from the States.
In the States, because they don't quite get the roadman thing.
No,
but
he's brilliant.
When you say he's so British, like what is that?
Technically, so, so British. We don't pronounce the second T. British.
He's. I was telling you about this last week, Brett. Basically, the man like Darius. Just watch some clips. That's his name, man like Darius. Dereiss.
You're joking, aren't you? We told Brett to watch clips of loads of indie guys.
No, yeah, I know.
That's your homework. That's my homework
I didn't
to
get
you.
I didn't get to say like that he's too much British. Like, what do you mean, like?
But he's okay.
You don't have to say it like that. That's just how we.
That was
say
great.
It.
You were like Steve McLaren there, Brett. That was fantastic.
British. It's British.
Steve McLaren. Fucking hell.
We'll swap accents
Steve.
for a day, Brett.
He's just this really, very East London, very gangster, very like street talking, but he's ripped, but he just like he's so good in the ring. Like all I can say is just watch him, and
it's the Midland slang for me.
Yeah,
the Midland slang is just fucking nuts, man. It's like, he's great.
That's my homework to you: is go and watch some matches from man like Darius, or go and just watch.
No, I've seen a few of his matches.
Clips.
Yeah.
We'll watch them. Watch Leonardo Darwin then, for fuck's sake, man. I'm gonna tell you this every fucking week, man.
I got you, man. I promise we'll do a bit of it. We'll do a bit next week of me reacting to Leonardo Darwin.
Okay,
matches.
that would be amazing.
I'd love that.
Mm-hmm.
Just really quickly, finishing off the card, we got a fatal four-way. We mentioned Simon Miller earlier, national treasure. I love him to pieces.
We all love Simon Miller. He's amazing. He's the nicest man on the internet.
He really is.
Best boy.
Going up against the spectacular twat Charles Crowley, Jack Morris, and Ethan Allen in a fatal four-way, which should be cracking. Like that.
That should be great.
All of them are good.
Allen's
All
amazing.
of them are really good.
Yeah.
Crowley's left Riot Cabaret, at least in kayfabe. So I think maybe you'll see him more in like Progress now.
I hope he's back though for the August show, man. Because I've got tickets to them.
Should we put a little bet on? There's 4 wrestlers. We can each pick one. Whoever wins gets a drink bought for them by the others at
Simon Miller.
Oh, I'm going Ethan Allen.
That's a good shot.
All right. Crowley.
So it looks like
So Brett.
Brett's got Jack Morris. Brett, if Jack Morris wins at Forbidden Door, if Jack Morris wins this match, Yeah, at Forbidden Door. If Jack Morris wins this match on Sunday, then we all buy you a drink, basically.
I like the way it sounds.
Okay.
Simon Miller, look, because obviously they're building up to.
Yeah, it's him against the Proteas.
And it's gotta be
It feels right, doesn't it? Speaking of titles, the only other match other than speaking of titles, the only
the
other
one
one
where we finally end fucking Sunshine Machine.
Yeah, man.
No.
Lycos Gym,
The
no, I'm
greatest
sorry.
team.
I'm sorry, Lycos Gym are winning this because I love him to pieces. Lycos is a fan of the podcast. He's been on the podcast before. I love him to pieces. He likes the Wonder Years, and he's great. He's my wolf.
If Lycos Gym will end Sunshine Machine for me, because there's cracks in Sunshine Machine, they're going to split, and certain people will be very unhappy, and I'll be like, yes.
They said if they lost, they were going to split, and they didn't. So I'm not being fooled again.
That was no. They haven't said that yet. They're just getting angry with each other. Yeah, I've never forgiven Grizzled Young Vets for that either. So, Lycos Jim, if you can do this for me, I will buy. I've already got the t-shirts. I'll buy something. I don't know.
Just
whatever.
buy them a pint, or buy them tickets to see the one. Buy them tickets to see the Wonder Years.
I'll buy my pint anyway. Whatever.
No, Lycos Gym for the win.
Sunshine Machine.
But speaking of Sunshine Machine, the other night, yesterday, this is at this time of recording, that's why my voice is a bit fucked. I was actually at RevPro Revolution Rumble in London, so I'll just give a very quick recap of that because a big talking point at the end of it was like the cracks in Sunshine Machine. That's why I think they're losing. TK Cooper did not win the British. He did not win the British heavyweight title against Michael Oku, much to the crowd's annoyance. But apart from me, I was happy as Larry, because Oku gets to.
I'm giving you a high five through the screen here, Dan.
Yeah, man.
Get him, man.
I know. Fucking love. But again, who are you going to have Oku drop the RevPro British heavyweight title to a tag guy? No, absolutely not. Especially not before the anniversary show. So it's stupid to think that was going to happen. But no, the card was good. Like, that match was good. That was second to last, but it was the first match of the second half. Like, the first four matches in the first half were amazing. I thought they were fantastic. Like, Will Caven defended the British. He lost the British cruiserweight title to Nino Bryant in a quick but pretty good match. I wouldn't say I'm like the biggest Will Caven fan, but I think Nino Bryant's phenomenal. Like, I was with Wrestling Mark and two of his mates who I'd met like on the day, and he pointed out how Nino Bryant, like, he was wearing like some gear which reminded him of like Chris Jericho from like WrestleMania 19, and I got it immediately. It's like bright blue, bright yellow. So for that, I thought, yeah, he's winning this, because that's a match-winning gear. And he did, thankfully. But then Oku brought him out after he won his match, and I was convinced that Oku was gonna like deck him, or Amira was gonna hit him with the title belt, because they've been teasing like a little Oku heel turn. But it didn't happen, because RKJ came out and beat the shit out of both of them. So that was something. Kanji and Emerson Jane, phenomenal. The only women's match on the card, which was a bit of a sham, really. But no, both showed why they're excellent. Like, Emerson Jane, for me, feels like she's a shoo-in in the conversation for like Wrestler of the Year after the matches that I've seen her have this year. Phenomenal stuff.
With that at all.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
Incredible.
She's superb. We got a match featuring Connor Mills and one called Manders, who I hadn't seen before, but I was immediately hooked after seeing him here, because not only did they both have this like hard hitting match where like I think Connor Mills' chest was bleeding because of how hard Manders was chopping him. They both showed up in the Rumble match later on and continued their beef. But the match of the night for me, this one was excellent. Mills got the win, but I really, really enjoyed it, and Mills for me should be the one to dethrone Oku, but that's another issue for another day. The match of the night for me was two names that we've already mentioned, the Young Guns, Ethan Allen and Luke Jacobs, going up against CPF, represented by Danny Black and Joe Lando. This was a no DQ tornado tag match. This was fucking excellent. This was one of the best like no DQ tag matches that I've seen in like the last few years. It was, I think, because just like the way it was all structured, and just Jacobs being Jacobs. There was one bit when Jacobs pulled out, like, it was like a trophy. It was like a bowling trophy, from under the ring, and I basically shouted, "It's the closest thing that Manchester will get to a trophy," and he just turned around and just went like. so, so I was quite proud of that one, but no, phenomenal match. There was blood,
Is
there was
Manchester
tables.
shit out there, or they?
Oh,
they
basically,
wanna-
they are now because Man City were, for ages, well, they're the WWE of the Premier League. They're run by the Saudis and very much just like corruption personified.
There's an investigation going on. We're waiting on the results. Get them the fuck out.
Basically,
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
But they are notoriously
Cheats.
scummy and cheaty and just very, very. But they pay through the nose because they could just get away with anything. No, they've won the Premier League, Champions League a few times. But this past season they didn't win anything, and it was glorious because they lost the FA Cup They lost the FA Cup final to Palace. Liverpool won the Prem. Obviously, PSG won the Champions League. So Man City went trophyless, and it was bliss. It was great. So
it's like Man City, that one club out there that like majority of fans are happy when they lose. And
yeah,
they don't succeed.
they're like the Yankees.
Roman Reigns.
So no, I was gonna say, like, as far as like sports teams I like here in the U.S., like, so they're like the Dallas Cowboys, where we all celebrate when they when they lose. 'Cause it's just fun, because their fans are like they're just so fucking like just.
Oh yeah,
annoying.
the thing is,
every year is their year. Every year they're gonna win the fucking Super Bowl. And they haven't won a Super Bowl since 95, 96.
Basically, like Man City, like really quickly, like Man City for ages weren't at this level. Like they were always like the smaller of the two clubs. Like it's them and Manchester United, who historically are the bigger and like better like overall club, like in terms of like the history and the trophies they've won and stuff. But Man City, because since this whole investment, they've just sort of risen to the top. But that's why this investigation's going on, is because like there's all sorts of dodgy history and dealings going on, which mean that they could have breached a lot of like the impartiality rules within the leagues that they're in. So they could, if it finds out that they're guilty, that they could be docked like loads of points. They could lose all their titles. They could lose all sorts of like records from their history books. And I'd love to see it happen. But anyway, the point being, Luke Jacobs and Ethan Allen are from Manchester, and it was in London, and there's a natural rivalry there because of mostly football, but other stuff as well. But we were in London, so naturally, anytime that anyone from Manchester comes through, they're going to get booed. Anyway, so I've talked about the British Heavyweight title. This tag team title match was amazing. The Revolution Rumble was the main event. It went like 70-odd minutes. There was a really, really tone-deaf surprise entrant in that, which I was not a fan of, to be honest. I was just more in shock in the moment that they actually had him come out. I think it was pretty disgraceful, to be honest with you, to include. Bless you.
So annoyed, actually.
Eugene actually appeared in 2025 in London.
Yeah.
Nick Dinsmore come out. By all accounts, he's not someone who I would get on with, but to include someone playing that gimmick in 2025, after knowing what we know about him and about like the people who he champions and the gimmick's tastelessness itself, I think it was pretty bad. So was not a fan of that. I'm not going to let it affect my enjoyment of the card because I still enjoyed like the most of it. The Rumble match probably went on a bit too long for me. Like there wasn't many like surprise entrants. I thought there would be a couple more, but what was nice to see was Robbie fucking X, because that man can do no wrong. He, after having 7 odd matches while he was in Mexico, to come through on the day, or maybe like the night before, in London, to just turn up as a surprise entrant was great. He had a good showing. He didn't win, unfortunately, but that winner, or that crown, went to Shah Samuels, which again, I wouldn't have made it myself, but he seems like he's in his redemption arc for some. So it probably makes sense from storyline perspective. I personally would have loved to have seen Connor Mills or Jay Joshua get a win, but wasn't to be. But I'm not going to let that sort of sour my whole enjoyment of the whole night, because I got my money's worth. I paid £25 for the ticket. I had a great time with Wrestling Mark and his friends, who I'm looking forward to seeing at Forbidden Door. And yeah, if you have the chance, go back and rewatch some of this, because it was great. But just make sure you miss entrant number 8, I think it is, in the Rumble, because that doesn't exist in my mind now. Anyway, peace and love to all.
And before you finish on that, let's make it clear. He wasn't just using that shit gimmick. He was also using the shit gimmick whilst doing an impression of another fucking shit piece of shit.
Yeah,
Cunt.
yeah. It's just to me, it makes no sense. Like it was just
So
a very
anyway.
stupid decision. Like
Yeah, it's weird. And he is a twat as well.
Yeah, somebody made that decision and thought, yes, do you know what? That makes sense, and I can't fathom why. But hey, it's done now. It's in the past. Don't do it again, because I think that was pretty. It was a low point for me. Definitely like soured some bit of the night, but. Hey, do you know what? If you like wrestling, skip that bit and then watch the rest of it, because there's plenty to enjoy. So
It's been a fantastic week for wrestling.
yeah, it has, man.
I think it genuinely has.
It has been good.
It's a fantastic time for wrestling. There's
We
more
got
than
we got
ever.
Kota Ibushi back. We got.
Should have my shirt
sh-
again.
should we-
One day
should-
something will happen. I don't have a shirt to reference. One day.
One day it will happen, but
One day.
yeah, I think we're gonna end it there.
exciting
So
time.
yeah, so what shows everyone going to? So obviously you guys are going to Progress. What other ones you got
Doing
coming up?
progress.
We got Infinite Independence Day next week as well.
Nice.
Eve on the Friday.
Yes,
the big one.
and
that's
then
a week on
obviously-
Friday. Shit me, yeah, that's true. That's come around
Is it
quickly.
really? Are we going to Eve on?
We're going to. It's on the Friday night. It's when Chris Statlander is
that's
coming
not
over.
long.
By the way.
Okay, that's
we-
not long at all. So I've got progress then Eve. Yeah.
We're also going to Attack, who have just announced James Ellis against Neil Bryant as well.
Nino's quality. I
yeah,
think he's
and
going to have a
then-
great time.
We've obviously got All In the day before that as well. And then TNT at the end of the month, which will be class. So there's fucking loads going on.
Yeah, there's Progress show at the end of July, which I'm gonna go to. There's Eve. I'm gonna try and
if
make.
If you're up north, the North Wrestling's got one on the 12th coming up. I think that's the same day as All In, isn't it?
Where is North?
Yes,
Newcastle.
it's Newcastle. Yeah,
So it's
very.
Yeah,
north.
it's not
Very
far. It's
north.
actually quite close to me.
It's less than
It's
2
like, I don't-
hours, so that's something.
I think they've done
Yeah.
some shows in Leeds as well in the past,
I don't
or
have to
one at least.
trick.
So
Brett, I have a question for Brett. What other indie promotions are around where you live? Are there any, or like what's the nearest one that you could feasibly get to? Because I'm quite interested to see what it's like in like New York.
They got Warriors of Wrestling out there. I think they majority out in Staten Island and Brooklyn. But
Nice.
of course, I mean, you have House of Glory that comes that they're stationed out in Queens. I've been there a couple of times. Like awesome little setup out there. But yeah, I used to go to a whole bunch of Warriors of Wrestling shows when Victoria would come out here, do like special appearances like signings and a couple of matches she did as well. But yeah, you get that local show here in New York City, Warriors of Wrestling.
Nice. Well, I'll have to check. I'll have to check that out. But
Yeah.
before we finish, I just want to give a shout out to our good friend, the 6'12", Big Trouble Ben Bishop. He, I believe, he was against a guy I'm a big fan of, Richard Holiday. And he asked him if he'd book him because Ben never gets booked. And Richard Holiday laughed and he's like, "You're joking, no way." And then he said, "Look, if you beat me, I'll put you on the card." And he beat him. So he's on Richard Holiday's show.
good.
Oh, the narcissist.
Narcissistic behaviour.
Yes, the narcissist.
Lovely.
Ben Bishop is a narcissist,
I am
But-
looking
which is
forward to that
fantastic.
a lot.
I love Ben.
Me too. I mean, he's been on the podcast. I'm grateful, but also I think
Not when I was on. So
Well, we
he's
need
a
to rectify
genuinely
it.
nice fella.
we need another
he
one
really
one
is.
day.
It was one of my favourite interviews I've had the pleasure of doing, but also
Really. I love what
everything that
been
he's
this
doing on
month
his
as well.
yeah, that's what I was going to say is like everything he's been doing for like mental health awareness, men's mental health. It's just really good to see, and so we need more people like Ben Bishop in the world, and we need more people like Richard Holiday because he's fucking hilarious.
He's ace. I'm still long term booking him and MJF against the Hate Syndicates. So
Please do.
anyway,
I want Richard Holiday and Tate Mayfair to have a really long feud.
that'd be so good.
That would be amazing.
Oh mate, well,
That would fix my life.
it
And
probably
he doesn't look like Freddie Mercury.
It looks a bit like Freddie Mercury.
What Richard Holiday?
Yeah.
I don't see
Promo
it
was
myself.
Did you not see
Did
that
you not?
promo he did? It was amazing.
No, I don't remember that one.
When he was, oh god, it's so. I'll send it you, Brett. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta see that one.
It's so good. He's rambling about all these bits, and I look nothing like Freddie Mercury, and then the camera pans out, and he's literally wearing fucking the same vest and everything as Freddie Mercury.
Fucking hell. Oh, he is very funny. got a lot of time for Richard Holiday. Anyway,
Okay.
well, on that note, I think that's about all we got time for today. Has there been any other updates, Brett, since about Night of Champions? I'm guessing it's still gone a bit quiet, and we'll find out a bit more later on. But
Nothing since what Lucy just said last about the production staff. They
Okay,
left
in Qatar.
early, and that they are stuck in Qatar until I guess maybe the regulations will be
Well,
subsided. I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if they subside them just for WWE to get through to get to
Yeah.
Saudi. And guess what?
Mental.
Whether we like it or not, the show's gonna go off without a hitch.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, all the love to everybody that is suffering that didn't vote for this, but is still caught up in the bullshit anyway.
Yeah. Well, I just hope that everyone who's in the firing line is, no pun intended. That was very poor choice of words. Forget I said that. But for anyone who is caught up in all of the camaraderie and like the nastiness of it all, just I hope everyone's safe and stays well and is gets out okay and everything like that. Whatever happens. But until then, thanks for listening. Enjoy Progress at the weekend, everybody,
will.
and we will see you next week.
Take it easy,
Peace.
you sons of bitches.